I'm with Franco-American of the Year, Jesse Martineau, creator of New Hampshire Poutine Fest, Tim Bollier, and you're watching Let Freedom Ring.
Welcome to Let Freedom Ring. Before I get into anything, I know we had a little bit of controversy on the show last week. I've had a lot of messages and stuff. Views expressed on the show from guests don't necessarily reflect the views of Let Freedom Ring or the opinions of Let Freedom Ring, so just keep that in mind. And sometimes that happens and not everybody's going to agree on things. But my guest this week, Matty Couming. Couming?
You got it.
Got it. Nailed it. Welcome to the show, Matty.
Thank you again for having me today, Wayne.
No, pleasure to have you on. Looking forward to this. Let's get to know you a little bit. Where'd you from? Where'd you grow up?
New Hampshire native, born and bred right in New Boston, a couple towns over. I live in Goffstown now. Didn't move too far, but I've always lived in New Hampshire. Haven't traveled much, but yeah, I'm a New Hampshire native.
Nice, nice. Yeah. So what high school is in New Boston? Is that
there is no high school in New Boston, and we go to Goffstown High.
Oh, okay.
Dunbarton and Goffstown both go to Dunbarton, New Boston both go to Goffstown. But yeah, no, there's an elementary school out there. One store type of town, you know. Yeah. But yeah, no, that's pretty much where I grew up. Nothing special. I haven't really traveled. Like I said, I haven't traveled much. But yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Now, do you go up, the mountain Unkanunik there?
Oh, yeah.
Have you been up that a few times?
Yep, I actually go up there. I was up there recently, I go up there and watch the sunrise sometimes.
Oh,
okay. It's beautiful up there. You can drive right up, get out, go over on the cliff, and just wait for the sun to come up. Good way to start the day, any day, really.
Yeah, no. I always mess up the trail every time.
Well, there's a problem because there is two mountains.
Yeah.
So one of them you can drive up, the other one you can't, and the trail system isn't really that great, marked that well.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, you're not the only one, that's for sure.
I'm out there, and I was out there this summer. It's about to thunder and lightning, and I'm like, how did I get lost on? I'm a pretty experienced hiker, and yet I get lost on a smaller one.
Sure, yeah. And you see that storm rolling in, and you start panicking a little bit, like, okay, how did I get up here? Now I got to get down. So I get it.
Absolutely. I get that. But no, Goffstown's beautiful. I love Goffstown.
Yeah. I don't think I'd want to live anywhere else other than New Hampshire. I love New Hampshire, man. There's so much to do, especially if you're an outdoors guy.
Yeah.
A lot of good people. We got great people up here.
Are you a guy that you'd say you enjoy all four seasons?
Yeah, that's for sure. They each bring their own joy. I love fall, but and then you get the snow rolling in. A lot of people don't like the snow. I think it's romantic in a way. But I like all four seasons.
Yeah, I do too. But I struggle in the winter, but I'm going in with a different mindset this year. When I used to winter hike, I enjoyed it more. Got away from that.
Sure.
Going in this year, I said, I'm going to make the best of the winter that I can.
Right.
Because that's all I can do.
Yep. One day at a time, man.
Yeah.
One day at a time.
Now, what are 3 things that everybody should know about you?
Well, I love my family. My family means everything to me. I actually brought a small picture of them. This is my dad and my brother and my 3 nieces. Those are my brother's children.
Grace, can you get that?
But yeah, no, they're everything to me. My father raised me and my brother. And that's definitely, if anybody knows anything about me, I love my family.
Yeah, I think I've seen you at a few soccer games.
Yes, down in Merrimack over at Reed's Ferry. Yep, the girls both play over there. But yeah, no, that's definitely one of my number one priorities. Another thing is, I've been sober for about 4 years. That I hold that true to my heart. It changed my life, and it opened me up to new experiences like this. But disc golf and softball with you, and that's how we met, through softball, mutual friends. But it's not much to know about me. I'm pretty open book, you know what I mean? I'm always rooting for the underdog,
Nice. I just hit my 9 months in sobriety.
Congratulations, man. That went by pretty quick.
Yeah, it did go by.
How'd you do it? One day at a time, right?
One day at a time,
yeah. Get up with the right mindset,
Well, I think there's a lot, because I like to say, I don't just say I'm sober, I say I'm a man in recovery. Because that's really what I think is the heart of me staying that way, is doing the things each day that I have to do.
Absolutely.
And when you say it, I think you've posted on there, it's one day at a time. I don't know what the future holds.
Yep.
And I think you might like this. I heard this a couple weeks ago. You know, the past and the future are illusions.
Yeah, we
All
can't
that matters
control any
is
of that. Now is now. What we have now is what we can control. You know, we strive for progress, not perfection. You know,
Yes.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah, and it's a good life, and you know, it's nice to feel healthy.
Yeah, wake up clear-minded and have something positive to do that day. You know, inspire other people too along the way.
Absolutely.
You know.
Now, sticking with the theme of the show, this is the money question. This is a big question.
Yeah.
A lot of different answers we get.
Yeah.
But what does it mean to you to be an American?
What does it mean to me to be an American? Well, in my mind, a typical American dream is, you know, the white picket fence. You know, you get up every day, you go to work, and you take care of your family. You know, you take care of the people that mean the most to you. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty basic if you really think about it. I know there's a lot of politics out there nowadays. The world's, you know, we don't know where the world's going and where the country's going. I'm not going to get into that.
Yeah.
But I try to focus on myself and try to be, in my idea, what the American dream, you know, that small family, that small town, and just making the best of life.
Yeah, no,
You know?
I like that. I mean, there's a lot of things that I think about too. It's like we're sitting in a studio here. We got, you know, some figurines on the table.
Yep.
We're hanging out with our friends. You know, there's a lot of bad stuff going on in the world. And,
Right.
and not that it happens here too, but it's like we do have these opportunities to, it's not perfect, but I don't know how you make a completely perfect.
I don't think anything's perfect, Danny.
Yeah.
You know? But we make the best of it, and that's all we can do, man. You know, despite the situations going on, you know, like I said, you just get up and do your thing and try to make the best of it.
Yeah, oh, I like that. Now I want to get into this. You play disc golf. I have seen this. We're hearing more about disc golf.
Yeah.
Every time I go to Brown Mitchell for a softball game, there seems to be some kind of disc golf event going on.
Sure, yeah.
So I really appreciate you coming on and talk about this.
Absolutely.
Can you tell us what is disc golf?
Disc golf is pretty much what it sounds like. You know, it's created after the game of golf, ball golf. You know, your traditional golf. You know, every course has a par that you must make. You know, to make par, depending on how many times you throw the disc, is like swinging the club. Each hole has. Typically, each hole is a par 3 or a par 4. There's par 5s out there, and every time you throw the disc, the objective is to get it into this basket here. This is obviously a miniature version of the basket, but to give you an idea, it's about 56 inches tall and built the same way with the chains hanging in. And the disc comes in, and it's supposed to rest in the basket to signify the completion of the hole. Depending on how many strokes you can get in the hole is how well you're doing.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. Anybody can play. You know, they got different weighted discs and stuff like that for kids and adult. You know, some of the older guys. I play with guys out there that are 80 years old. You know?
Oh, wow.
And they love it. It's healthy. You're out there walking. You know. But yeah, no, it's very similar to your traditional ball golf, and yeah.
Now, there are times like you can't even see the hole. Like, how far away are we talking? Like, because, I mean, hitting a golf ball is one thing.
Yep.
And, I mean, throwing a frisbee is not exactly easy.
No, it isn't, and it's not exactly like throwing. And everybody thinks it's a lot like the ultimate disc. You know, the traditional frisbees we all grew up with. You know, these are more like a discus, like an Olympian would throw.
Okay.
You know, it's got a sharp edge. These will hurt if you get hit.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it does hurt. I've seen it.
Oh, wow, it's heavier than I
heavier.
thought.
Yeah, so they do hurt if you get hit. And you always want to make sure you're looking down the fairway to make sure nobody's out there. You know, that's important. Yeah, I mean, if you see guys with proper technique out there, it's almost like compared to like ballet.
Okay.
You know, with the footwork and the arm work and everything and following through, it can be pretty impressive to see in person when you see somebody actually throwing it right. It doesn't happen right away, you know. A lot of times people are going to throw it out there and you're going to be like, why is everything going left? Why can't I get it to go straight? It just takes time and technique and, you know, going out and just playing and learning from yourself and your mistakes. You know?
Now, like, is it, because I've only got to see it when I've been going on the field and it's kind of in the woods.
Yep.
Now,
which is typical of New Hampshire courses.
Okay.
A lot of them are in the woods. You know, you'll have some that are out in the field, but most of the time it's you got to hit this gap, get it between these trees, and get it to finish right or left. There's different ways to throw it. You can throw a forehand or you can throw a backhand, depending on where you want it to finish. As a righty, I throw a forehand, it's going to finish right. If I throw a backhand, it's going to finish left on the end of the flight. So depending on where the basket is, where you want it to finish, But yeah, no, it's in the woods most of the time. But yeah, there's 18 holes out there.
Okay. Is there 18 in that one in Manchester?
So in Manchester, the Hollows is one of the first courses that they brought to the state. I think there was, and I was going to talk about it a little bit with you later, I think there was some I think it's Greeley Park down in Nashua. There's some old rust. I wouldn't put my hand in them anymore. They're pretty rusty, but they were man-made. They had a tire as the base and the chains. And I remember driving by when I was a kid. I'd ask my father, "What is that?" And he had no idea. I think he told me one time he thought it was something to do for like barbecuing.
Yeah.
He just had no clue. But once I figured out what they were, then I remembered, oh yeah, those have been there for 20 years, I think.
When I was growing up, I grew up in Nashua.
Yep.
And it's not like I went far because I'm in Merrimack.
Right.
I still pass it. And I did not know what it was probably until maybe 4 years ago.
Sure, yeah. And that's about right when it started taking off. Right around COVID is what really pushed the sport, projected it into the future was social distancing, getting out there outside, the 6 feet or whatever. And for the first time, ESPN didn't have anything to put on TV. There was no baseball, football, hockey, everything ended. So for the first time, they put disc golf on ESPN that year. And I think that's what really got people outside trying it and checking it out. I know that's one of the reasons I got out there. Along with getting sober and trying to fill that void.
Yeah.
You gotta keep filling that void with good stuff, healthy stuff. But yeah.
Now, is there is it like golf? Are you getting that? I'm sure in tournaments are a little bit different, but like if you're just playing, when we go golfing, right? It's always like we got to stay ahead of the people behind us. Is that kind of part of the etiquette too?
Yeah, it's definitely part of the etiquette. Okay. Slow play, like say you're out there with a group of people and there's a solo guy or two guys behind you that are slowly creeping up. You just let them play through. That's the etiquette of the sport. You don't want to hold anybody up and make them wait for you guys to finish up. But it's definitely a lot of friendly, good people out there. Everybody's working together. And plus, you don't want to get hit with one of these. So everybody's looking out for each other, But yeah, no, it's definitely quite a vast community of just great people. I don't think I've met a bad person out there.
Nice. Now you said you kind of got involved during COVID. Like, how'd you get involved? How'd you start finding where to go to do this and all those things?
Yep. So there's a lot of stuff in place once you start talking to the right people. One of the good spots to start is Breaking Chains is a store in New Hampshire. They brought disc golf to New Hampshire.
Okay.
There's one. The original one is in Manchester. Now they have one in Dover and in Nashua.
Oh, so they have multiple stores?
Yeah,
now?
they have 3 stores now.
Wow,
because it's grown so much over the last few years. And there's actually another different company called Union Square. They're out in Milford Oval.
Oh, okay.
Brian Pernice, nice guy. But yeah, no. Typically, you can go in there and tell them you're new to the sport, and they're just happy to have you, and they'll put you in the right direction with some beginner discs to really get you going. You really only need 3 or 4 discs to start.
Okay.
A putter, a mid-range, a fairway driver, and a driver. But
oh wow, so there's all types.
There's a ton, yeah. But you typically want to start with some of the smaller discs, just because the thicker edges on them.
Yeah.
Like I was talking about earlier, everything's going to go left on you.
Okay.
Just because it takes time to get that form and that snap. But yeah, no. So with that in mind, there's an app on your phone nowadays called UDisc, and you can download that app for free, and it's all GPS. Nowadays they know right where you are with your phone, and you can see all the baskets on the map, and that'll show you where all the courses are.
Oh wow!
So there's the bigger baskets on there and smaller baskets. The smaller baskets are 9-hole courses.
Okay.
You're going to start seeing those at the different colleges and universities. I think Webster College, and a couple ones like out in Henniker. I forget the name of the college out there.
New England College?
New England College,
Yeah.
yes. They got 9-hole courses out there, you know, so they're starting to get some of the youth into it and whatnot. But yeah, through that app, you can look at any course in the world. I mean, they're everywhere. You know, it's big over in Europe right now. Nokia, Finland is like the destination for disc golf over there. And then they have, so if you're really getting into it, then they have a website called the Disc Golf Scene, and that's where all the tournament directors will go.
Okay.
And they'll post like tournaments or league. Like last night I was in putting league. You can go there and sign up for it and whatnot and register. Typically they're around $50-$60 for my division at least. And I don't recommend that right off the bat. You know? Definitely want to get some time in and feel comfortable with it. But yeah, no, there's enough people involved in it right now in New Hampshire. If you really want to show interest in it, I would definitely start with going to one of the stores first. Bill and Norma are the owners of Breaking Chains, and they are wonderful people. They do the league at the Hollows, and they do the league over at Birch Park in Amherst.
Okay.
So, and then they have one up in Dover at Bellamy Park is another one. Those are the three of their 3 parks.
Are the leagues a lot kind of like the softball leagues? Like it's Tuesday nights that you show up and play?
Yep. So typically you'll pay, I think I paid $35 for the league at Hollows one time. And then you show up every Wednesday night.
Okay.
You bring $3. You put $2 into the ace pot. An ace is a hole-in-one, so you get it in the basket in one shot. I've only got one. It's tough to get.
Yeah.
And then the other dollar goes to CTP. So they'll pick a random hole that night for league, and if you can get it closest to the pin, you'll win the pot for the night. You know, depending on how many players are there, that's what you'll win. An average league is, excuse me, I'm getting a little thirsty. An average league is. What would we have at Hollows? We had like 65 players there, but then you got places like down in Bellamy, up in Dover. They had over 100 people this year.
Oh wow!
You know, women, guys, kids, everybody was out. So
how many courses are we looking at just in New Hampshire?
I'm losing track, to be honest with you, Dan.
Really?
I mean, we've got a couple courses right now that guys are talking about that are still private on private property. So typically, a lot of the courses that are on public property are free to play.
Okay.
You can just show up with your bag and go out and play.
Kind of like pickleball, the way they do it.
Yep. And then there's people out there that have some old farmland or whatever. You got Beauty Hill up in Northwood, I believe it is. No, Barnstead. $5, $8, $8 you can pay, throw it in the pot. They have an honor system, and you can go out and play for play around for $8 or whatever. It's not bad. It's cheaper than ball golf, that's for sure. But yeah, no, it's quite interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of fascinating that it's gotten to the point where like people are using their private property to have courses.
Oh yeah. They're realizing that it's actually not a bad little passive income. You got all this farmland sitting there. Why not use it?
Yeah.
And then we're running into some problems, like, not problems, but they're conscious of it. Down in, I think it's Spitbrook Road.
In Nashua?
Nashua. We've got 2 professional pros, Simon Lazat and Avery Jenkins. They've been working on a course down there for a while, and what they're running into is conservation land, wetland buffers, stuff like that. We had a bad article written in the Union Leader, I think, last summer. Just a neighbor concerned about animals and wildlife and kids, people getting hurt with these discs. But I don't think she really realized the community and how everybody's looking out for each other.
Yeah, and I mean, there's always somebody that's gonna find. I mean, there's much worse things than getting hit with a frisbee.
Yeah, sure.
Though I guarantee I can tell by holding that it doesn't feel good. But now you said pros.
Yep.
So what does the professional circuit look like?
So the pro circuit, we had a chance to go up to Smuggler's Notch, almost 2 months ago now. We went up to Smuggler's Notch. Up at Smuggler's Notch in the summertime, a lot of the ski resorts are starting to put disc golf courses on their mountains or down in the valleys. Smuggler's Notch just happens to be 2 of the best courses in the country. They're absolutely gorgeous. They maintain them like a ball golf course, But this year they had Worlds, which is like the Super Bowl of disc golf.
Oh, okay.
Like the best in the world. They had guys from Japan there, Switzerland, Europe, Chinese guys. It was awesome to watch. We bought a 3-day pass, lanyard, VIP, so we got to walk in the gallery behind the pros. You know, they keep us, you know, good distance away, but they're putting us right in on the action. So the pros, it's I don't know. They got female pros and the male pros. Now, typically a tournament, they have different divisions that you can play in. I typically play in MA1 or MA2, but there's an MPO division, which is a professional division. Now, the better you do in it, you build a rating. And typically a pro rating is around 1,000. So with that rating, you can enter into some of these big tournaments and hopefully get sponsored. That's the overall goal, is to get sponsored. That way you don't have to, some of these discs can get pretty expensive. Yeah. So that's the overall goal, is to get sponsored. That way you get your equipment for free, you get, you know, travel for free. I mean, if you're really into it, that's your passion, why not go for the whole thing? Yeah. But it was fun watching these guys play. We stayed up there for 3 days, and we followed the lead card, which is the feature card, you know, the top 4 guys that are in the tournament and Worlds. We got to follow them for that final Sunday, and it was just some great golf. Great golf, man, And they'll talk to you. You know, these guys there's no real buffer between, I mean, these guys aren't making millions of dollars yet doing this. So there's really no buffer between you and them. Typically, you're not going to want to talk to them while they're in the middle of a tournament. Yeah. But after the tournament, you can go up to them and ask them a question or whatever, you know, get an autograph. You know, I definitely felt like a little kid asking for autographs. So it was an experience, though, and I'm glad I went. You know. No,
that's fascinating. I mean, a lot of those guys just kind of started, I'm assuming, amateur level, just kept winning these tournaments until they got the sponsorship.
So disc golf in this country really started out west, like Southern California. Okay. So some of these guys that are on the pro tour, they've been playing since they were little kids. Really? You know, they grew up out there. They were around the courses and whatnot. It was very big out there. A lot of the manufacturers make the disc out there. But over the years, it's slowly worked its way across the country, you know, and become more popular. But yeah. No.
That's pretty fascinating, honestly.
It's a lot bigger than anyone thought. I had no idea. Once you get into, like softball, once you get into that community, then you realize how big it really is, all the people that are involved, you know, the different tournaments and stuff.
Now, what would you say, it sounds like it is growing on its own. But is there anything that you think that in the area can continue to grow it?
The youth. You know, we're starting to see a lot of kids getting out there. Guys are bringing their kids out to play. But we'd really like to start seeing it more at an elementary type level, like gym class. You know, get a basket in there, show kids what disc golf is. They have different programs online, but there's really not a lot yet directed towards the youth, and I think that would be key for the growth of the sport, because it seems like every other day a new course is opening, or you know, sorry.
No, you're good. We do allow water.
Yeah, water's good. Water is good. But that would probably be my number one thing, is just getting the next generation involved in the sport. For it to grow and to sustain, you know.
I think that's a good way to put it. I think that's a lot of things with a lot of different sports. Like we're finding, like with rugby, you know, as I follow the Free Jacks on the Jacks Rangers show too, you know, they're going and visiting elementary schools and middle schools and like introducing them rugby.
See, that's what we need to do, is something like that. We need to get a group of good people, good people always, but people that understand the sport and want to teach other people that, you know, how to do it, you know, because that would be a good idea actually to do. And go around to the different schools and set up a basket for gym class or whatever, and show them the discs and what they do. And
because you could probably make portable ones, I'm assuming, so they could.
They do.
Pick it up.
God, yeah. They made the full size ones. You can unscrew them and break them down and put them in bags. And you know, I have one in my trunk right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I almost brought it in, but I was like, I'm not going to bring that.
Yeah. Now you kind of said, I guess if someone wanted to get involved, you kind of said the best way to do is go to one of the stores first.
Yeah, that's definitely where you're going to want to start. I know that's when I got into it. I was going to an AA out in Milford, and the guys kept talking about it. And I was like, I had no idea what they were talking about. Disc golf? What the heck is that? And they ended up bringing me to a store. One of the guys brought me over to a store and I think Norma was working, the owner of Breaking Chains, and she said, okay, yeah. And she picked out I think I got like 3 or 4 discs, went out to the hollows and started throwing them, and there's a lot of people out there, so you're watching other people, how they're throwing, you're learning techniques and different shots and things like that. But that's definitely where I would start, and plus, there's so many Facebook pages too. You could type in New Hampshire Disc Golf in Facebook, and there'll be like a bunch of pages you can join and start asking questions on there. The community's awesome. They'll answer anything you got.
That's really cool. It's very similar to like the softball community. And
That's probably why I got onto it so quickly, is because the community was so similar to the softball guys, and the people in softball. It's a little different though. You're not standing on third base getting balls ripped at you at 100 miles an hour.
Yeah. That's gonna be a nicer part of it.
It's a little different.
So far, what have been some of your favorite moments playing?
Oh, absolutely. I won my first tournament this year up
nice.
at Franklin. They got the Franklin Falls. They built an 18-hole course around the dam up there, and they hosted a tournament in, I think it was end of July. And I was doing okay. It was one of my first big tournaments, and Sunday it rained all day. And I just played steady, smooth golf. I think I was like 6 under through, and that course actually has 25 holes. They added some basin holes that go down around the dam and stuff, over the dam, over the water. And I made it to like 23 holes or something, that bogey-free. 6 under, and then I threw it in the river. And then I took like a triple bogey or whatever, which is 3 over par. So if the par is 3, it took a 6, But I finished in first place and I won. I was really stoked about that. The other one would definitely be getting my brother involved. I'm so glad that I brought him out there. That first time, I think he got a birdie out in Birch on hole 7 or whatever, and he was hooked. He put it in from like 80 feet, and he was like, "This is amazing." So I think he might be even more hooked than I am lately.
Really?
He's becoming a great putter. It's fun and it's just great to get out there with family. Have a similar interest, and we're slowly getting the girls involved in it. He's got baskets in his backyard now. He's taking it pretty seriously. And then the ace, I got my first ace a couple of years back at Birch on hole 18. I was just out there playing in the morning by myself. A quick round, and I threw it. It was a blind basket. I threw it over the hill, and all I heard was just smash into the chains. And I came up over the hill, and I heard people on hole 1, because typically the course will circle back. From hole 1 to 18, and I could hear people cheering. So I knew like something good had happened. So I came up. They said, "You got it in, man!" And so that was a pretty good movement. I haven't got one since. So they're kind of rare,
But have witnesses.
But there was witnesses is good. You don't ever want to do it by yourself, because then there's nobody to celebrate it with. You know. Plus, your friends will say, "Nah, you didn't get it in." But those are probably some of my favorite moments. And then just any day you're out there with good people and your good friends, man. The hollows, typically right in this time of year, the sun sets in the west and it just lights up the woods.
Oh,
it's
nice.
beautiful down there, man. But those are some of my favorite moments out there.
Are you starting to notice like a lot of different people coming in that like from when you when you started, are you starting to do you see any familiar faces too from like other ways that you know them?
Oh God! You last night at Putting League, I had my Red Hot jersey on. I pressure wash houses for a living, commercial, residential, and I had my Red Hot sweatshirt on. And a guy came up to me and said, "Hey, he was in Putting League with me, and he said, 'Hey, I think you washed my house a couple months ago.'" So I was like, "No way, man! Good to see you here." So when I started getting into disc golf, then I realized that a lot of the guys I grew up with were playing. They've been playing for years. Guys I hadn't seen in a long time. Yeah. So like from New Boston and Goffstown, and we just rekindled an old friendships. And now I'm in a Facebook chat with like 40-something guys, and local guys, and at any time you can say anybody throwing.
Oh, that's
guys
cool.
will meet up with you at the different courses and stuff. Yeah. It's a blast, man. Absolute blast.
Yeah, it's crazy because I mean, even like in softball, you see that you're like, "Hey, you work where I work?" Because where I'm at, there's a lot of different people working there. And there's all types of like stuff you run into. You're right. Like this is when I started to know I was old. When I'm playing with someone on one of my social teams, and I go, I'm pretty sure I was your teacher when you were in like 8th grade.
Oh God, yeah.
So I go, well, how old are you now? And he's like, 28. I go, geez. You know, I was oh man, how old am I?
Oh man.
No, that's really good stuff. So definitely, if you're interested in, Matty's someone good to talk to about disc golf, but it does seem like it is blowing up, which is, it's good to see that. Like, you know, I know for me, as someone in their, you know, late 30s, almost 40, I like to have activities.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
And it's...
And it can be a lot less strenuous too than going out there running around bases and diving for balls and stuff like that. Because I love softball, don't get me wrong, but it'll beat you up pretty quick if you play at a high level. You know, you're throwing yourself around that field, because God knows you want to win. You know?
Yeah, I'm starting to feel it. My legs, and this weekend that tournament, I turned a few double plays, and I had the surgery.
Oh yeah,
my arm will be it will be hurting some days where I'm like, I got to make, and I still want to keep going.
Yeah.
Make that last throw, like, oh man, I'm gonna be up all night.
Oh yeah, no, I hear you, and I hear you with the whipping it from third base over the top. I don't think I can do it anymore. You know, the good thing is it's a different motion.
Yeah.
You know, which is just a little bit more low key than trying to whip it. You know, get that out at first.
Yeah, there's all tips. You know, I never knew how complicated your shoulder really is, and all these different motions.
I forgot you had that done. Yeah, that's right. When I first met you, we were just slowly getting back into it. You had taken a break for a little bit.
The first time I threw a softball was the weekend like COVID exploded, and they're like, stay in your houses. And I was like, wait, I can finally do this, and now I'm stuck in the house. But no, great stuff. That's really interesting.
Yeah, like Danny said, any questions that anybody has, I'd be more than welcome to answer them for people. You know what I mean? I love the sport, so I just want, if people are interested, come on out with us. We'll show you the ropes.
Awesome. I love that. Now we did get a fan question from Brittany Damon.
Oh, nice. Excellent. I just watched her. She was on an episode,
Yes,
a couple weeks
about
ago?
a year ago.
Oh, a year ago.
Yeah, about a year
ago. It was an older
ago.
one. Okay.
Yeah.
I was thumbing through all of them, watching them all. So.
Yeah.
Anything good?
She said, my question is, where have you been?
Where have I been? I've been disc golfing.
Yeah.
No, I've so recently, about a year ago, I moved my dad in with me into my apartment. He's got severe COPD.
Okay.
And he wasn't doing so well. He had 50 years in a phone company, and it was time for him to retire. So Dad's old school. He doesn't do paperwork, So I set up his Social Security and got him going. And I've been taking care of him with doctor's appointments and things like that. But there's just not enough time in the day to do everything, as you know. I work a lot. I work 6-7 days a week, and when I'm not working on the weekends, I'm playing in tournaments, And
a lot of the softball we were all doing together too. I never realized you were coming all the way from Goffstown too.
Yeah,
which is not right down the street. I mean,
Dicky's a little bit of a trip.
Yeah.
When I was playing that year, though, I was living out in Milford, so I just shoot through Hollis to get over there. That was a little bit short of a trip. But and then I didn't know about disc golf back then, though. Either, so.
But I kind of got that, and I've seen your dad was at the soccer game with you as well, right?
Oh yeah, Dad comes and cheers on the girls. I try not to embarrass him too much, cheering too loud for him. Like, Uncle Matty.
Yeah. No, they're fun to go. My niece loves the soccer, but she loves this kid. It's wild. She just loves every sport.
That's good.
She's only 6. Yeah, so I'm hoping.
There's plenty of other things like the devices. At least she wants to go out and be active.
That's what we're hoping, because I mean, I hate when everybody says this, that like our generation was out all the time, but I do really feel like that, and it really is starting to, like, when you say we need younger players, like I feel like it's not just disc golf, it's softball, it's this, it's that, and it's like, is that next generation not going to be
outdoorsy and stuff?
The activities,
and stuff. Yeah, you hope they will. It's funny you say that, because I remember just going on the street lights. Once those came on, get home. But that's a good point. I hope to get more kids out there involved in it. Maintaining the course is another big thing too, to volunteer your time and get to know people in the sport and stuff.
Because we don't want to become, now anybody that knows me, they know I love social media and all that stuff, but I also have the other half of doing stuff you get worried that everybody gets so focused on just the technology and stuff and not just living their lives out in the moment.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, no, I hear that for sure. It's so easy to just look at a screen though for too long, and then you realize you've been looking at it for over an hour. You're like, oh boy, time to put the phone down.
And the difference is for us is like that's not what we grew up with though. Like it was very rare to be at the computer.
Yeah.
You know?
But society, you know, it's the direction they've been pushing it on us for a while. You know, with screens everywhere.
We're living in the 2020s, I guess.
Jeez, I don't know. If we could go back, right?
Yeah. I want to play a quick game with you. It's softball word association.
Yep.
I'm going to say something to do with softball. You'll just tell me the first thing that you think of.
Okay.
First one, this is a field we play out on Sunday mornings, West Ebb.
West Ebb, short field, squish balls.
Yeah.
Squaring them up.
There's almost no other way you could play there.
Oh, you have to use a squish ball.
Yeah.
That's just begging for somebody to get hurt. I mean, the girls use the small balls, and you got to be ready. You know, they'll rip one at you. You know what I mean? But yeah, no, that's what I think of when.
So the first time I drove down there, I was playing on the Narwhals team, needed somebody or something. I said, they wrote on the page because I'd never played at West Ebb.
Yeah.
I said, yeah, they're like, it's squish ball. I said, okay, I've never really played that.
Yeah.
And I get there, I go, wait, what size is this field?
Yeah, it's like 200 feet.
I was like, what? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, it makes sense. I guess is why they use the squish balls here.
Right.
You know?
And I just got an email today too. The games are getting moved over to the Trinity.
Yes.
This weekend because of the marathon or some kind of running thing going on.
Yeah, I told my team that I'll be at the Save the Tatas tournament.
Okay. Yeah.
Usually play in October. Fields were like an issue because breast cancer month is October.
Yep.
Permits were tough to get, so it
Sure.
got pushed. It's gonna be a cold one. Pickup
game,
softball.
pickup softball, like your fall league.
Yeah.
Yo, I love it. That's a good way to get out there. A Tuesday and a Thursday night under the lights and just play with your friends.
Yeah.
You know, just have good laughs. Everybody's laughing, having a good time.
It's the most stress-free. Not that anybody. It's all for fun, but certain times. Softball, like games could be when you do want to win, like you do get a little,
competitive spirit kicks in. But then you got to read the crowd, though, read the people. Like, all right, dial it down a little bit. This is supposed to be fun.
Michael Schultz,
hell of a hitter, great arm. That guy can crush the ball. Always smiling.
Would you say one word would be hitter or?
Yeah, he's definitely a good smack ball hitter. He could probably put it anywhere on the field he wanted. I think. I think that's safe to say.
Yeah, Mike.
As well as you, my friend.
Oh,
you're a great slap ball hitter. Got to get me on base. Okay, here's a base hit. That's all you need. That's how you win games.
That is, you have to know what your job is.
Yep.
I'm not a home run guy anymore. I just got to be on base for when that home run guy gets up.
Yes, sir. We appreciate that. That's for sure.
And shout out to Mike. He got auto bumped again. His team did very well at Worlds. Another 9th place finish.
Oh, excellent. Excellent. Yeah, they go down there every year.
He goes. Season? Yeah, he's usually on different teams.
Yeah, sure.
He did really well. Yeah. Squish ball.
Yeah, squish ball. Yeah, it's fun. It's supposed to be fun. It's so the team I play with against you and I don't think we've played each other yet in that league. No.
If we have, I've missed a lot of games because it was one of those like last minute. Hey, can you play on this team?
Sure.
I said, well, I'm doing Pinnacle. I will get there when I can.
Yeah,
so if we have, I'm not
That's
sure.
kind of what happened with me in that league was I'm a bartender on the weekends at the Penardville Athletic Club. Old chicken coop, like 95 years old. I love it. Very community-based. But they had a softball team, and they won against the other private clubs in the city. And they wanted to continue playing their season, so they asked me about fall ball. I said, my social sports is a great place to start, and we got down. That's how we got them down there, because it's just not as, it's competitive, but it's not like competitive.
Over the top.
Over the top, so, and they've been loving it. Our team's won a few games, but we've also got blown out of the water a few times, But yeah, no, squish ball's fun if you just want to like lay, it's more laid back, yeah.
Yeah, no, I think honestly, like when I first started, like it would never be my main league, just because I am like at heart, I'm a softball guy.
Oh yeah.
I play like 5 nights a week, but like squish ball for me is a lot of times I can go down there and just be like, this is just relaxed. Like if I don't want to be in the ready position, I don't have to be.
Right, yeah.
It's not gonna be coming at me 95 miles per hour.
Right, yeah. Oh my God, I've had a couple of close ones at third base, man. I'm like, whoa.
I don't wear my mask there because which I feel weird now because I've been wearing a mask for so long.
It's funny though. The one injury I got really bad injury on my knee was from a girl from one of the hardballs, and
Oh, yeah.
a couple of seasons ago, she drilled me at shortstop right in the knee. Oh yeah, it swelled up all summer, you know.
Well, it's hard. Like, you're going from, like, okay, it's going to be a squish ball. It's only, and then you get there. Now we're switching to the hard ball, and you're like, you know.
I try to say it every time they switch over for my team's protection, you know, like hard ball, squish ball, just so they know, you know, because it does get a little confusing when you're switching balls back and forth.
When the girls are up, that's when you definitely should be ready.
Yeah.
U-Trip.
U-Trip, I played a little bit, definitely different than ASA, that's for sure, different arc. But I never played in too much U-Trip. I was more ASA Pinnacle League.
Okay.
On the Sunday mornings in Manchester. But I went out with some of the guys. You know, Jen used to ask me to come and play some U-Trip tournaments with them. But I've never really got too deep into U-Trip ball as much. I know the ball's coming off the bat a lot faster.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, no. I didn't play too much of U-Trip, more ASA than anything.
Yeah, and Manchester seems to be more ASA.
I think so, yeah. That's the direction of more of a cooperative, co-ed, leagues with the male and females, you know.
Yeah. Cold Turkey Tournament.
Cold Turkey Tournament. I was kind of hoping to play that this year, but I don't think I'm going to be able to just because I'm going to be down in Muldoon. Muldoon does a turkey shoot.
Yeah.
They got a turkey.
Cold Turkey was last weekend.
Oh, was it already came?
Yeah.
I went by. See, that's how far I'm out of softball right now.
They moved it up because permits. Steve talked about it last week. People don't know what goes into planning. When you need to get a permit, you're going against all these different other people that are trying to get that field.
Right.
So,
right. That's.
But we played together a couple of years ago.
Yeah. No, we played. Where were we? Down in Merrimack, right?
Martell.
Yep, that's right. We had. We had a fun day.
Yeah.
It was a cold day in the morning. I remember the field thawed out and it turned into mud.
Yes.
I remember that. And then we got Heartbreakers in February, right? That's another big one. We play over in Bedford on the AstroTurf there.
Yeah, so they've been. I guess he was saying they're trying to figure that out too.
Sure.
Because it's been the Dome lately. Because a lot of the fields are like, we don't really want you doing this.
Yeah.
Jen Spelios.
Oh, how is she doing? I haven't seen her in a while.
She's doing good.
Yeah,
from what I know.
She's still running. She's still putting together teams and stuff.
Not really. She's taken. I think Jen's taken a big step back.
That's okay. I mean, she's done it a long time.
Yeah.
You know,
her women's team though is. I think that's one that she never. Oh, you're good.
Yeah. Good man.
Yeah, the mics are always,
That's all right.
We've had one time on the show when the mics wasn't working for like half of the show. So we had to figure that out. But yeah, no, she's doing good.
Yeah, I always like playing with Jen. She's asked me a few times over the years to play with you guys. I met her down at your fall ball league there, the pickup league, and we became friends right away. She's a nice person to be around.
Yeah.
No,
Jen's a sweetheart. We missed her this year. We definitely wanted her because she couldn't really come. She has a new job, so it's been tough.
Yep, I get it. I get that. Totally get it.
I want to get in some top fives with you here.
All right.
Just some of your, things that you're into. Do you have a top five or a couple of your favorite musical artists?
Yeah, so there's a couple new ones I really like. The last couple of years I've been listening to. I listen to pretty much everything. I'll give everything a shot at least once, except for yelling music. I can't do the screaming and yelling. That's a little much for me. But I'm into the country right now. I just actually got a guitar recently. I'm going to be taking some lessons once our pressure washing season's over.
Oh, nice.
Right in Manchester there. They got some different teachers and stuff that I can go to. But yeah, no, Zach Bryan's great. Sam Barber's another good artist, young upcoming artist. Mac Miller's always good. Led Zeppelin's probably one of my favorites. So you can't ever go wrong with it. Led Zeppelin. I don't think they have one bad song.
No, that's iconic.
Yeah,
they're iconic.
It'll live hopefully forever.
Yeah. It's funny, Mac Miller. I never realized. Not too long ago, I guess I'm a fan of Ariana Grande. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh God, she's wonderful.
I didn't know she could. She did like impersonations of other singers on SNL one time, and she nailed Celine Dion. Yeah. She nailed Whitney Houston, Britney Spears, Rihanna. I was like, she sounds like them more than they sound like them.
Jeez. Yeah, well, she's a great artist like them, so it doesn't surprise me.
But she had a song that like took the beat from Big Pun, Still Don't Want to Be a Player.
Oh yeah.
So I used to listen to that song when it first came out.
Yeah.
And all these years I said I didn't really hear any music by Mac Miller. I'd never heard him.
Yeah.
He was on that track, and I didn't know until I looked it up.
Oh really? Yeah. He's in the back on the. He's got a few lines in there. Yeah, unfortunately he passed away, a few years back. But his last album, I think, was in a direction. The direction he was headed was, I think he was going to come out with some great stuff.
Yeah.
But unfortunately he did pass. But yeah, no, he tells a story in his songs, and I enjoy that.
Yeah, and he definitely battled. I mean, I watched the video on like exactly what happened.
Yeah.
And it sounds like he really, that's the thing. What's so scary about addiction is it can eventually take you.
Oh, it's happening to a lot of young people out there nowadays, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Because they just don't know any better, I think. And,
yeah.
Yeah, that's sad. It is sad.
Very sad. But he was very talented guy.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
You have a top 5 favorite movies?
Absolutely. Probably Saving Private Ryan is definitely one of my favorites. Saving Private Ryan is definitely one of my go-tos. I remember seeing that as a young boy, and I was just fascinated by it. Dances with Wolves is another one. I love Kevin Costner, Dances with Wolves. Great movie. Great movie. Lately, though, there's been a couple ones. The new Top Gun was good.
Oh, really?
Edge of My Seat. Have you seen it?
I have not.
Oh, you got to. Edge of My Seat, the whole movie.
Really?
I mean, I
Okay.
was yelling at the screen.
Yeah.
I was like, get him,
Yeah.
It was good. That was a great movie. And I think the other one I saw with, and I'm not the biggest fan of Jake Gyllenhaal, but The Covenant.
Oh, okay.
Was about him in Afghanistan. He had a translator, and the translator just, got him out of there. He got stuck. They got ambushed or whatever, and he, hiked him out of there hundreds of miles.
Oh, yeah, I've heard
saved
about
his
this.
life. And then when he was back in the States, he found out that the Taliban or whatever were hunting the guy that saved him. So he was like, I got to go there and help him. So he went back there despite his captain or whatever's. I'm not going to ruin it for you.
Yeah. Spoiler.
I have a tendency to do that. My bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a great film.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, definitely worth checking out.
Saving Private Ryan is in my collection of movies, because I have certain movies I have to own.
Yeah.
That's one of them.
Yeah. Braveheart, another good one.
That's in my
Can't go wrong
collection of
with
movies
that,
you have to own. Yep. I mean, I try not to buy too many DVDs anymore, but there are just like no doubters that I'm like, I will watch this till the day I die.
You're right.
So
Every once in a while, you got to just throw it in and check it and watch it like you've never seen it before. I get it.
Absolutely.
I get that.
I watched Rocky last night because, have you seen
The first one? Or?
Yes.
Oh, the original is my favorite. That's my favorite Rocky, I think.
Well, on Netflix, there's a special on Sylvester Stallone.
Oh, okay.
And I watched that. There was stuff I just never knew. I kind of knew the story, but didn't.
Yeah.
He wrote that movie in 3 days.
Really?
And he was kind of an unknown guy.
Yeah.
And basically, these studios were offering him stupid money for the script, but said, but you're not going to star in it. And he's like homeless at this point.
Oh,
he said,
geez.
no, I can't sell it to you.
Yeah, I put my heart and soul in this.
I am the star of this movie.
Yeah.
And then he goes on, does the movie, and if there's not a person that probably doesn't know who Sylvester Stallone is.
Oh, God, yeah.
But my God, I watched it again last night, and I have all the Rockies.
I had no idea that he did that in 3 days, and nobody wanted him in his own movie that he wrote.
He was like, he couldn't get jobs and all this other stuff to act. And
I couldn't imagine that movie without him in it.
No one could be Rocky.
Who would play Rocky,
I don't think there's anybody.
No,
honestly.
I can't think of one.
But, oh my gosh, even last night I'm watching it, and I'm like, I need to go to bed. And I'm like, I know how it ends. I know I could watch, and I couldn't stop. I was like, all right, I guess I'm going to bed late tonight.
Yeah.
Hey, we're going to the fight here. Do you have a top 5 favorite athletes?
Top 5 favorite athletes, yeah. My favorite all time growing up was Kobe Bryant. I think when I got into, we were big card collectors in the 90s, and I started, when I got collecting, Kobe Bryant was a rookie. And
like 98, 97?
96, 97.
Oh, yeah.
96,
okay,
97. He came in with Kevin Garnett, I believe.
Yep.
Or Kevin Garnett was the year before him. They were both right out of high school,
Yep.
But yeah, Kobe definitely. Simon Lizotte, one of my favorite all-time disc golfers. He's right out of Massachusetts. He's one of the ones that's working on the course down in Nashville.
Oh, okay.
We're trying to get it done. We followed him on like the first or second day of Worlds. You know, he's just a fan favorite. You know,
Yeah.
if he's one of those guys, if he knows he's out of the running for winning it,
Yeah.
he'll throw some crazy shots up there just
Yeah.
to please the crowd. You
Yeah,
know? And then Matty Orum's another one. He's a raging Cajun. He's from the Southern guy. He's just a showstopper, disc golfer. And then one of my favorites it's going to be Lucas Scarciati. I freaking love Lucas. Lucas is one of the guys we play softball with. But Lucas is one of those guys, anything he does is 100%. He always plays 100%. You know, he's another guy I got into disc golfing about a year ago. Unfortunately, he's better than me now. But that's just his spirit, you know. Anytime anybody's around him, you just want to do better. You want to compete, you know. He's a great guy to know. But yeah, no, those are probably my top 5. I think there's plenty of good athletes out there.
Yeah.
You know, if somebody's got a good heart, I'm into them. You know, if you can see their heart in the game, I'm definitely rooting for them. You know.
Absolutely. Yeah, I haven't seen Lucas in a while. But
yeah, he's another one. He's got 2 little girls. You know,
okay.
He lives up in Dover area, Rochester area. So everything south is about an hour plus to get down there. It's tough after a long day of work. You know?
I can imagine. Yeah.
But yeah, his local course is Bellamy up in Dover. I think like I said earlier, there's over 100 people there. He was in like the top 10 his first year playing.
Oh wow!
I mean, that's how good he is. He's a great player. You know, who's good at devil sticks? I pulled up in a parking lot at softball one time. He's doing these devil stick things, and I'm like, who's good at that?
But I didn't even know anybody did that.
Yeah, what the heck? But yeah, no, he's a good guy.
All right, I want to get into buy or sell. I'm going to give you something. You're going to tell me, are you buying or selling?
Okay.
Now, this is a tough topic right now. And I can't listen to a lot of sports radio because I don't want this to happen. There's a lot of talk about Belichick maybe being fired. Are you buying or selling Bill Belichick in 2023?
Selling.
Yeah.
I think he wants out. I think he's done it long enough. He's built a dynasty, and unfortunately, I think he's got a contract, right? Probably.
Yeah.
So I think in his mind, if he does bad, maybe they'll just let him go.
Yeah.
You know, they'll breach the contract, say, yeah, you can just leave. We've had many good years with him.
Yes.
You know, he'll be one of the best coaches of all time.
I hate how everybody's like tarnishing him now because
There's no need to.
It's like he already proved everything he ever had to prove.
We're allowed to have a bad season once in a while, man. I mean, unfortunately, it hasn't been for a long time. You know, we had Brady for a long time there, but you know, Belichick's time's come and gone. Let him go do something else with his life. You know, I think his wife will be happy to have him.
I think they broke up.
Oh boy.
Yeah, or his girlfriend.
Maybe that has a lot to do with this season.
Yeah,
too.
maybe. I think right at the beginning of the season. Actually,
gee, I did not know that. Yeah. Oh boy.
But you know, it's like the bar was set very high, and I don't think this is the first year where it's been complete disaster. Like we're Detroit Lions territory.
Yeah, I thought we were going to be maybe 500, but it's not looking like that.
No, they find ways to lose.
Yeah.
I listened to Mac's press conference. I was like, just say what we're all thinking. You guys stink.
Yeah,
you stink. Right. Even when you make a good throw, they don't catch it.
It's funny, you wore your Patriots hat. I almost wore mine tonight too, but I was like, I don't know. I don't want him to ask about the Patriots.
Yeah. It's a sensitive topic.
Yeah, it is sensitive.
Taylor Swift and the NFL together. Buy or sell?
No. I don't want anything to do with that.
Yeah.
Sell or whatever. But yeah, don't merge the two. Music and Taylor Swift belongs with her, where she's at, and leave NFL alone. Just because you're dating one of the most handsome guys in the league, doesn't mean you get to be part of the NFL.
Yeah, it's Goodell's loving it though. He's like, she's there to the ratings.
She's worth $1 billion nowadays, right?
She's the biggest pop star in the world.
Yeah, why not? Why not jump on that train? You know.
Yeah. TikTok.
Sell. Want nothing to do with that. I don't do social media like that. I think that's just a way for another country, I'm not going to say who, to topple another country. You know, what better way to topple a country than to make their youth stupid in a way? You know, you get paid to do dance moves and nothing that pertains to like valuable, that holds real value, you know. And
then you see all the videos just like crapping on the other videos and like some of the stuff on there. I'm like, I don't have the TikTok app.
Yeah, I've never had it.
I just see the videos on Instagram or YouTube.
Yeah, I come across them and I'm like, no.
Some of the stuff people are putting on there, like, do you really believe what you're saying?
Right.
Do you really believe that? Or it's wild.
Yeah, it's not for me. Yeah. It's not for me.
We just kind of talked about it, and I was gonna ask, you buying or selling Rocky, the Rocky franchise?
Oh, I would buy that all day.
Absolutely.
I would buy that all day. Those are classic American movies, and they'll go on forever.
They're also, I mean, 5, I understand what they're trying to do. You want to do something different. I don't think it worked. But I can rewatch 1, 2, 3, and 4 over and over.
Yeah. And it's like anything. They try to extend it as long as they can. They got the creeds now,
Yeah.
Even a couple of the creeds. It is what it is. But yeah, those original Rockies are going to live forever.
Absolutely. First female rapper to go in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame recently, Missy Elliott. Buy or sell?
I'd buy. I grew up with her music. She's one of the originals. Yeah, I don't know much about her, to be honest with you.
I've always been a fan, but I thought it was interesting she was the first.
I just remember, she was one of the first. That's right. Yeah.
All right, a little bit of Thanksgiving here. Are you buying or selling cranberry sauce at Thanksgiving?
Oh, buying it by the truckload, man. I love cranberry sauce. Can't have. It's not a Thanksgiving dinner without cranberry sauce.
Yeah.
Especially with the leftovers. Because it's good cold, so you can't go wrong.
Stuffing.
Stuffing is definitely a buy. I love my stuffing. You gotta have. We had an oyster stuffing a few years ago with oysters in it.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I gotta try that.
Oh yeah. There's recipes, on anything, but I had it and I was like, something's different about this.
Yeah.
And it was good.
Mashed potatoes.
Always. I'm Irish, so you gotta have some type of starch at the table.
All right, I'll give you the toughest one here because sometimes I am addicted to these and I eat them and they always come up at Thanksgiving too. Are you buy or selling green olives?
I don't like olives.
No.
Sell every olive on the table. I don't even want to see them,
Yeah.
No, I'm not an olive guy. I've never been.
I got a problem with them. It's just the green ones. Like
Yeah.
I can sit down and eat a whole jar of them.
Yeah.
So like I stopped kind of buying them.
So you like the black ones? The black olives?
No, I don't care for the black ones.
Oh.
I want the green ones.
You like the green ones? Okay, yeah.
The tang or whatever to them.
Sure.
Yeah,
that vinegary tang to them.
It's a problem. If I crack it open, it's gone. And I, for years, I would like take all of them before like we sat down for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So there's an issue with those.
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure. So, but I'm assuming then buy or sell turkey on Thanksgiving.
Oh, always turkey. I love turkey so much that I only eat it once a year. People will make me a turkey sandwich or ask me what I want. I'm like, I don't want a turkey sandwich because it's like a religious experience for me.
Yeah.
I have it once a year, and actually my birthday is falling on Thanksgiving this year.
Oh, wow.
23rd is my birthday. I'll be turning 36. And so I'm looking forward to a little cake, a little turkey. It's going to be great.
Good. That's a good combination there.
Yeah, you can't go wrong.
But anyways, Matty, I really appreciate you coming on today. It's been a blast.
Thank you, Dan, for having me, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll do it again sometime.
Yeah.
Everybody out there, have a great week. Keep your heads up. Until next time, let